Some of you haven't been enlightened with the hot, crazy matrix, and somebody who's been in a relationship since I was 16 years old, never in another relationship, first relationship, and we've been married since, I don't know, like 2012, 2013, something like that. I can't keep it straight because we just look at our anniversary date as to when we got in a relationship in 2008, and now we have 7 kids. I'll give you my reaction to the hot, crazy mix. And it's a pretty good one. You got to know it. And this was all, of course, spawned by shout out to Sara Eisen, because we were, yeah.
Crazy is measured from 4 to 10 because, of course, there's no such thing as a woman who's not at least a 4 crazy. So you got 4 to 10.
So the scale starts at 4?
Right here.
I forgot that part.
Keep in mind where the hot crazy line is. As a rule, this is your no-go zone. We do not hang around and date and marry women who are not, at least in our mind, a 5. So this is your no-go zone. You don't go here.
So anything under a 5 with a 4 crazy, no go. Stay away.
We just rule this out. Life is better this way. That's the way it is. All right. Above a 5 and to about an 8, and below the crazy line, this is your fun zone. You can hang out here and meet these girls and spend time with them. That's your fun zone, but keep in mind when you're in the fun zone, you want to move out of the fun zone to a more permanent location. Okay?
Like a permanent relationship, dating, marriage, kids, whatever.
So that's the fun zone above a 5, hot, below an 8, hot, and below the crazy line. This means these are most of the time not crazy, okay?
Most of the time not crazy. Sometimes crazy. But again, there's a floor of crazy.
Above the danger zone, above the crazy line, we have the danger zone. This is your redheads, your strippers, anyone named Tiffany. This is hairdressers. This is where your car gets keyed, you get a bunny in the pot, your tires get slashed, and you wind up in jail. Now that we have some of the chart filled in, we got a couple more pieces to put in, but at this point, understand something. This is not a static environment. This is a situation where you have got to use the...
This reminds me of that Carrie Underwood song. I took a Louisville Slugger to both headlights, dug my keys into his car. That's perfect.
This matrix over time to develop some reliable data. It's like a dope chart, okay? Because at any moment in time, any woman that you have previously located on this chart can vanish from that location and appear anywhere else on the chart. So what you have to do is, over time, collect some data. And once you have a cluster...
Guys, we need to collect data. Try them out first.
of data points, you can begin to consider that reliable. Now, moving on, you have this zone here. This is below the crazy line, above an 8 hot, but still, about a 7 crazy. This is your date zone. You can stay in the date zone indefinitely. These are women that you introduce to your friends and your family. They're good looking and they're reasonably not crazy most of the time. Okay? So you can stay here indefinitely.
Welcome. Nice to have you. So you want to talk about lovemaking, right?
Now, above an 8 hot and between about a 7 and a 5 crazy, this is your wife zone. Okay?
So you need less crazy the woman has to be less crazy in order to marry her. So if you date somebody who's in the date zone, you have to collect enough data to verify that they aren't actually this crazy and that they'll settle into this sort of level of crazy.
When you meet this girl, you should consider a long-term relationship. This zone is not scaled to size. This is a representation and not an actual If this is not a pie
In other words, hopefully the wife zone is much larger, although it could also be much smaller.
chart showing you how many of these people are out there. This is simply a representation of what you're after. You want to be 5 to 7 crazy, above an 8 hot. That's your wife zone, okay? Now, below a 5 crazy and above an 8 hot, this is your unicorn zone. These things don't exist.
Doesn't exist.
If you find a unicorn, please capture it safely, keep it alive. We'd like to study it and maybe look at how to replicate that, okay? So I was explaining this to a guy one time and he said, wait a minute.
Anyway, so there's the hot crazy matrix. I guess we could listen to this part.
I met this girl and she's like smoking hot. She's like at least a 9 and she's chill. She's totally cool. She's like not even a 3 crazy. I said, you're telling me you've met a girl, she's a 9 hot, and she's like a 2 or a 3 crazy. He said, yeah, man, I like her a lot. I said, you should be careful. That's a dude. You're talking to a tranny.
I didn't remember that. That's a trans lie. That doesn't exist.
So you got to be careful because
Trans.
down here.
Tranny. He writes tranny. I haven't seen that word in forever. Oh my gosh. This is absolutely the best must-watch guide to women if you haven't seen it yet.
Kevin is very talented, but I don't know if it's going to be him, but he's a very talented guy.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.